Ah,
The
you,
celebratory drink.
you got to pour one out. You got to pour one out. Laferde,
Good.
job well done.
As a job bloody well done, mate.
Welcome to Talks with Dorks, and more specifically, the TDW Board of Directors analysis and unpacking of, I'm going to call it our most successful show to date, TDW Slam by Me,
Definitely our most successful.
100%. And I love it when a plan comes together.
Oh, it was more than coming together, mate. I don't think it could have gone that well if we tried to make it go that well.
This right here, this is not just a celebratory drink. Let's pour one out for. I mean, where do we start? The former board of directors. That was already in the book from Danger Zone. Oh yeah, that's it. The former TDW men's champion. I mean, that doesn't sound right because we were crowning the first
Just
men's
seems
champion
strange.
at Slam by Me. So what happened there that I'm already saying former?
You know what I think it was? I think it was a bloody good bit of business.
That it was. That it was. Well, do you know what? Let's start on the highs. I want to say a massive congratulations to our new TDW men's champion. Oh, would you look at Michael Parks?
Michael Parks, well done, Parky.
Well done, Parky. You've already followed us on the socials. You've already seen Michael Parks celebrating all Michael Parks' words, which leads into why someone who, yeah, sure, if you've watched TDW, you might have seen the last you've seen of Michael Parks was him being fired and escorted out the arena unceremoniously by security. Why is this man our TDW men's champion? And, well, there's a few reasons.
First
More
of
than a
all,
few.
because let's face it, else would you want to be the face of our company?
Look, we here at TDW, we made no secret of our desire and the joy that we found of bringing the worlds of wrestling and the wrestling content creation world together as well. Credit where it's due to Fizz, our special guest ring announcer. Do you know what, Fizz? You know, you show that you can roll with the punches. You know, when you have to announce something that wasn't in the script, you, sir, you did that. You listened to instruction, and I respect that.
Good soldiers follow orders.
Oh, yes. You know, our general manager, Max, I gave you one instruction all night, mate, and that was to get the fuck out of the ring. I don't care that we're only 3.5 minutes in. But, Max, you did it. And,
You know what it feels like as well? It feels like such a relief we can finally just fully be ourselves about things.
God. Oh, I've been here a year, man. I've been here a year. A year of putting on the nice guy act. Jesus Christ. I don't know, you've been doing this for as long as you've been doing it, man.
I mean, it's been slipping up, hasn't it? Let's face it. I've had my fair share of controversy within the pod and TDW. But
But to finish my train of thought, bringing those worlds of wrestling and content creation, do you know what? If I'm going to pick our first TDW men's champion, he's proved he can go in the ring, he's proved he can go on the mic, and he has proved he can be a successful wrestling content creator in his own right. Who better for the face of TDW than the face that proudly adorns my chest at the moment, Michael Parks, as our TDW men's champion? And, I never wanted to see Parky go.
I mean, at the time, I won't lie, I did want to see him go. But then once he was gone, I saw a bit of a different thing with him.
More specifically,
And that's when he
and
caught my eye.
we might as well get to it now. More specifically, I was already seeing it, but I saw what an unchecked ego can
Yep.
really do.
I've been
let's
saying,
go
how
back
long have
to
I been saying that about the ego there? Like, come on.
let's go back to addressing the elephant in the room, eh? Because, like I said, this is not just a celebratory drink. This is pouring one out for the former TDW champion, the former chairman of the board, the not so super relic that
Not at
is.
all. You know what? Right, I will give him this accolade. He is the first ever TDW champion. But I'm
Well,
going to give it.
that's going to be in the books. Yeah.
But there's something else that's going to go with that he's not going to like. He'll have the shortest reign ever.
Do you know what? At the moment of recording this, we don't have the footage back for TDW Stand By Me. We'll be getting it within the next day, most likely. And I am looking forward to seeing the timestamp, to seeing exactly how long Ryan held that TDW title for. And credit where it's due, Ryan. You delivered against Ryan Matthews. I'll admit, and I've been called out for this on the social media already, I'll admit, I said I love it when a plan comes together. A lot of things didn't go to plan. I was not expecting you to win that title match. Quite frankly, I wasn't expecting you to win the Rumble.
Neither was I. I
When we
wanted to put him in that Rumble as a way of getting him out of here.
Yeah. I was not expecting a lot of things, but you delivered. And at that point, the nuclear option was required. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Where, how, what, when, why, I'm sure there's all the questions. So let's take it back. We'll unpack the show properly in a second, but I know some people have been looking for some explanations.
Yeah, they want answers.
So, TDW. We celebrated our 1 year anniversary with Slam By Me. We turned 1 year old exactly on the 31st of May. And in fact, on that 31st of May 2025, we weren't even called TDW yet. It was Talks with Dorks doing a one-off wrestling show.
Yes, it was.
And, you know, myself and Laferde, long life wrestling fans. I've been involved in running events before. Neither of us had run a wrestling promotion before. That very much fell on the feet of Ryan.
It did.
Ryan, who'd been an independent wrestler. Ryan, who'd, you know, he'd booked his own shows. He was very at liberty to say that. And so it all came around. We had AJ Slambino on the pod. And AJ mentioned about wanting to come over and, you know, wrestle in the UK for the very first time. And Ryan thought, you know what an opportunity to give him that platform and, you know, maybe even elevate us a little bit in the meantime. Let's run our own wrestling show. Let's give AJ his first ever match in the UK alongside his Pom Bro.
His Pom
Old school Paul, then at the time called Goonie Dad. And that's what the first show was supposed to be about. And 100%. Me and Laferde, we absolutely caught the bug. Ryan very much caught the bug again, and we decided to make TDW a thing and see where this wild little ride was going to take us. But even on that first show, keeping in mind the whole impetus of that first show was to give someone else the spotlight, to give someone else their opportunity to do something that they hadn't done before, and, you know, just see if we could do it, see if we could be this little start-up wrestling promotion that could. You never know. Never knew where it was going to go. You know, we think, okay, we've got to bump this card up a little bit. Let's get some other good names on the card. We had awesome multi-man matches. We had an awesome women's match. We had, you know, RJ Singh in his time as PWE men's champion during PWE's hiatus, issuing an open challenge. And sure enough, RJ decided to dangle a little carrot in front of Ryan's face and say, hey, this is your show. I know you used to wrestle. What do you say we wrestle for that championship? And yeah, that might have been RJ's challenge to issue, but you'd think that someone, being the gracious host that they are, and, you know, the whole point of this show being to try and give someone else a spotlight and us just be the hosts of it.
That was never going to happen.
Yeah, he bit that carrot very quickly, and suddenly this is all about, can I still go? Can I still wrestle? Can I be the champion for the first time ever? Because nobody ever gave me that shot. I was never able to do that before. Yeah, Ryan, you wonder why. You wonder why you never got that shot and you never got that recognition from someone else. Yeah, there's a reason why you had to do it. There's a reason why you had to do it on your own turf and make the show all about you. Sure, but you know what? First show, for all we know, this is a one and done. This could be his last chance ever to do this. Do you know what? We overlooked it.
Like that kid that when you're playing football as a kid, he takes his ball home because it's his ball and you've got to follow his rules and stuff like that.
And then roll on to show number 2, TDW Back in Time. Ryan makes a big point about this one. I'm here. I'm here as a board member. I'm here as the chairman. I'm here to help run the show. And sure enough, and this is where our current TDW men's champion, our first ever, I'm going to call it first ever. I don't think 5 minutes counts, right? Our first ever TDW men's champion proper comes into the equation.
We can call him a 2-min champ.
So, Michael Parks, understandably pissed off because at the first show, you know, we bring him on board. Ryan, who's been doing all the networking, Ryan, who's been doing all the allocations, Ryan, who's been, you know, doing all the liaising with our general managers at the time. Again, me and Laferde are novices at that show. We're going very much going where we're pointed.
Yeah.
Ryan, despite all of that, does not have a single role for the band at the time called Parky Streams. Understandably, Parky's pissed off at that show. Parky then comes out fighting with a point to prove at Back in Time. Yeah, arguably oversteps the mark a little bit. So he's got that match with Johnny Royal. It's spilled out a little bit. It's a wrestling show. Stuff spills out all the time. And yet, first opportunity the man has to make it about himself is old Relic again getting involved, establishing himself as the special guest referee for that match. Suddenly, once again, it's all about Relic. Even at the end of the match, he can't stop himself from getting involved.
No, he cannot.
Throwing out rock bottoms, throwing out artifacts to talent.
Yeah.
And then we have that.
Somehow pinning that all on me, by the way.
Yeah. I mean,
I took the blame
how
for
he
it.
made that your fault. How he made that your fault, I don't know.
No, just again his ego. He can't admit when he's at fault.
Takes us to Danger Zone, and you know what? We threw out the stipulation. Well, yeah, we'll be honest. We threw out the stipulation. We said, well, you know, if you're that pissed off about this, if you're that sick of, you know, Michael Parks and Preston Sage and Johnny and Kev, if you're that sick of these two, you're not being able to put this to bed. We said it. Why don't you make this a loser leaves TDW match? And I'll fess up. When you got 2 established talent against 1 established talent and a cosplayer.
Yeah, did not expect that to go that way.
I fully expected that match to go a certain way, I'm not going to lie. And Kev, mate, I know you've been on the socials. You've made it very clear that, you know, you feel like you should be the number 1 contender now. If Parky's now the champion, if you have a pinfall victory over him, how many of your mates did it take to pin Michael Parks? How many of your mates is it going to take if you wanted to pin Michael Parks again? How many of your mates are you planning on having in tow if, God forbid, we approve this and you ended up being the champion? Do I need your frigging entourage with us the entire time? So no. The records will show that you won. It's no DQ. Okay, you won. Michael Parks and Preston Stage fired from TDW. And that, admittedly, I'll use Kev's words, was the first spanner in the works. But you know what? We thought, okay, this can at least potentially be put to bed. We've got the tournament to focus on to crown our first number 1 contender for the men's title. We've got the Maverick Rumble to claim the second. And then something happens in the Rumble, something that we didn't expect, something that nobody expected, which is Mordecai Shaw decides to try and make a name for himself and takes out Caro before he makes his way to the ring. Chaos. We're looking for a wrestler. And yeah, that's when a very brief conversation was had behind the decks.
I mean, to be fair, did we not entrust we entrusted our general manager with finding a replacement?
Yeah, congrats, Max. Fizz, brilliant. Fantastic. You know, let's really put some prestige on this Rumble. Fizz, mate, you're a great man, you're a great announcer, but I mean, you only have to watch the footage to know that you should have been nowhere near that ring. How
Yeah,
Who the
you're
hell
not a
do you
wrestler,
think you
mate.
are? So, we have a brief conversation, me and Laferde behind the decks, as we're scrambling for someone, and we go, do you know what? Let's test. Let's test something, you know. He's proved once or twice that he can't resist the
Yeah.
opportunity to make it about him, the opportunity to, you know, say that, yeah, I'm that guy. I should have always been that guy. This is my time now.
Mm-hmm.
So we
Get the
hit play.
violins out.
Yeah, we hit play. Speaking of the violins, you know, the nice little start of the Superman theme at the start of his music. We
Again,
press
that
play
just
on Relic's
proves how
theme.
egotistical he is.
We press play on Relic's theme. And, yeah, threw his knee pads at him. Mate, could have said no.
But
Could have
also, right,
said,
if he had no intention of getting involved with anything throughout the night, he would not have brought them.
it's a point. We
I
threw him
didn't
at
bring
you,
no knee
mate.
pads. Did you take knee pads?
Huh?
I don't even own knee pads. That's how not
Huh?
involved I will be in them sort of things.
We threw those pads at you, mate. Why were they there? Why were they behind the decks in the first place? We didn't put them there.
Yeah, do you wear them while you're DJing?
And we throw them at them. And again, you throw those knee pads your way. We play your music. You could have refused. You could have stood on ceremony. You could have said, no, I'm retired. And it's not my title to win. This is our title, the TDW title. That we're here to crown and elevate someone who deserves it. But no, you decide, you know what? I can make this about me. I can jump in that ring. I'm entry number 10. I've only got a few guys to eliminate. I can do this. I can do this. And do you know what, mate? You did.
Of course he bloody did.
You did. Somehow, some way, you did it.
If to be fair, right, if we didn't put him in that match, he would have put himself in. Like you said,
And
the
once
knee
you won
pads
the
are there.
Rumble, once you won the Rumble, any respectable guy who wasn't expecting to be there, who was only there just to fill up an extra number, just to make it the 10-man Rumble that was advertised, any respectable member of the board of management would turn around and say, this was not my match to win.
Yep.
I can't believe I won, but I'm gonna step aside. I'm gonna abdicate my position, and we're gonna give it to the runner-up in the Rumble. Give it to Sullivan King. Sullivan King, who, you know, has done loads during his time at TDW. And outside of the promotion as well. That man has accolades out the wazoo, and he deserved it. You fluked it.
100% a fluke. Should have put the lottery numbers on that night.
Did he step aside? Did he do the honourable thing? Nah. Instead, or what I have to do for 4 fucking months is listen to all the ideas of how to make this about me. Oh, Kurt, it'll be awesome. You know, it'll be awesome. Let's do this all Power Rangers themed. I'm going to come out as the Green Ranger, as the White Ranger. I'm going to come out. I'm going to come out in full cosplay. I'm going to come out. Joel Kirk, can you make this video package for me? Really selling my story. Really making this all about me.
Yep, literally. I'm such an underdog. You've given yourself a title. Come on. Like you put yourself as much in that position as you possibly could. Because let's face it, right? So let's say he wasn't in the match at all. He would have found a way to challenge the TDW champion for that belt at some point. There would have been some way he would have found a way to get involved.
The one thing you prove, Ryan, is that you having that belt around your waist, as long as you were in charge of the decision making, it was inevitable. And wrestling as a sport has seen this happen too many times. I've seen perverted billionaires wrapping the title around their waist. I've seen past it legends who decide they want one more shot at the big time, booking themselves into matches. I've seen more than my fair share, and I'm in my 30s. I can't even go back through the whole history of wrestling. And these are just the ones off the top of my memory. And we saw that happening in our young promotion that we're trying to make a name for.
No, you don't do that.
And we decided, you know what? Could be coincidence. Let's put it to the test. Play the music straight in. Opportunity to step down, not taken. Opportunity to make it even more about you. Taken in a heartbeat.
Obviously, you don't see how many videos he posted about himself. Every other day, he was just recording himself, just going on and on and on and on.
Yeah, slam by me. It's Ryan versus Ryan. Screw the other competition, I guess.
Literally, like what? Did he not even realise there was other matches on?
And we'll get to those other matches in a second. So, yeah. Conversations were had behind the scenes. Conversations were had, quite frankly, even before Danger Zone.
Yeah.
Again, I didn't expect Michael Parks' team to lose that match.
No.
But as it got to the point where this match is happening, we got to the point where we had to know one of two things is about to happen. Either the thing that, again, if anything, we would have expected. So Ryan Matthews is going to very much put the relic back in the tomb, put him in his place. And maybe, hopefully, maybe, Ryan remembers that he's an old man who's wrestled a couple of matches, one proper match, in 7 entire years, who should be nowhere near the title, let alone challenging for the title in the promotion that he made to elevate other people. Maybe, if Ryan wins this, if Ryan Matthews, to be more specific, wins this, maybe he has that moment of realisation. And if he doesn't, what are we going to do about it? Because he's already made this all about him.
Yes, he did.
More than one occasion. Now, for anyone who's talking about us being the bad guys here, I'm sure this might be our least watched episode of Talks with Dorks. Because people don't want to hear from us. People see us as the bad guys. People see us as the betrayers. And maybe we are. Maybe we are in the eyes of the fans. But keep it in mind how much Ryan had already made this about himself. This whole promotion, this whole title story is about Ryan. If he had been allowed to walk out of that venue and walk into our next show with that belt, do you really think that that ego wouldn't have been allowed to run wild?
We'd have never at the end of it. It got worse. It'd have just been, you know what it is? We wouldn't be taken seriously as a business.
We would not. We would not. And that's before we account for the fact that I'd have to sit through, and you'd have to sit through, and all of our viewers and listeners would have to sit through 4 entire months of, guys, it means so much to me. Yeah, I didn't think I could do it, and I did it when I stacked the entire fucking deck in my favour.
Oh, this one's for you. This is all. It's a team effort. Fuck off. Like, what you on about? Like, there was no team involved in anything that he was trying to do. It was always about him.
So, Ryan, I will say one thing. One thing that might just redeem my nice guy image. Because I'm a nice guy. Decisions were made. Sure. Decisions that I don't regret. The plan was to make sure that you didn't leave the venue with that belt. The decisions were made to make sure that you had that moment of clarity that you shouldn't be in there. The decisions were to make you realise that you're an old man who his bump clock has been well and truly tapped. Cashed in. I didn't want to see a friend in the hospital.
No.
I didn't want to run the risk of you being in a wheelchair. I wanted my friend back. I wanted the man who I knew from before Talks with Dorks was even a thing in my life. I wanted the man who I bonded over wrestling with when we worked at a radio station together. I'm one of the men who invited me into that fold to make this brand what it was. This brand, not the Super Relic brand.
Yeah,
I wanted that man back.
We wanted Ryan back, not Relic. Fuck Relic.
Now, the fact that it took breaking your back to give you that moment of clarity, that much I don't regret. I regret that it came to it. I regret that you didn't have that moment of clarity sooner. But if that's what it takes.
You know what it is as well? As responsible management, chairman, whatever you want to call us in this business, that's decisions we have to make. And it's not anything against anyone that the decision goes against. That is how business is. And we will do whatever we need to make sure this business runs the best it can.
And what that means is building the best roster of talent that we can.
Exactly.
And quite frankly, that means not being afraid to cut some dead weight. And to be fair, back to the business side of it. Slam by me. What a show.
Fucking
what a show.
Mate.
What a show. We very much stamped our name on the map with an amazing card of some awesome matches. I mean, I've talked enough about the main event. I will give credit where it's due. Sir Ryan Matthews, you, sir. Quite frankly, I cannot believe you couldn't get it done, but...
An injustice.
You, sir, are a future champion. Maybe not anytime soon, but you are a future champion. You are the future of this industry. Yep. And you showed that in your performance. You got unlucky, man. But looking at the rest of the card, I mean, talking about the future of this industry, the rebellious rocker, Will Tyrrell.
Oh my God, what a match card that was. I mean, I wasn't even able to watch it, but I could hear the crowd.
On any other day, with any other man in charge, that would have been our main event.
Yep.
Will Tyrrell against the established global superstar that is Tate Bloody Mayfairs. Proved that he could hang, proved that he is that next level competitor, and proved that he has what it takes to get it done when it matters, pinning Tate Mayfairs in the middle of the ring after a drag-out, non-stop barn burner of a match. And again, I'm expecting great things in Will's future. Tate, very much welcome back as well. I would like to see that match happen again and again and again. I would like to see those two tearing up with the best in any which way we can. What a match that was.
I can imagine you were obviously lucky enough to be ringside for it as well.
That I was. And you know what? Knowing how the rest of my day was going to go, I was glad I got to have a smile on my face one more time. Of course, earlier on in the card as well, we had our latest addition to the women's division in the form of Annabelle, making her debut against Princess, answering Princess's own open challenge. She beat Leia Release, did Princess in Leia's open challenge. Princess issuing her own. Who answers but the dead doll Annabelle, who, I mean, I'm wishing I wasn't at ringside for that.
Yeah, I'm glad I wasn't. I seen that doll everywhere in that locker room and backstage. I'm thinking, why is this thing following me? Fuck that doll.
And if there's one person who more than me wishes they weren't at ringside, I think it is our special guest ring announcer, Fizz. Who?
Did he not like the doll either?
More so than that. So Fizz, there was a bit of an argument at the start of the match. Princess trying to make a case that the doll being in Annabelle's corner is a potential weapon.
That doll is a weapon.
And rightly so. Fizz does what Fizz has been doing throughout the whole show and the whole event so far, which is if anything gets left in the corner that could be potentially used in the match, taking it away, bringing it backstage. Fizz grabbed the doll. you do not grab Annabelle's doll. And Annabelle very much let him know about that. Annabelle, like a serial killer in a horror movie, was transfixed by that doll and stalked Fizz practically backstage. And noises left Fizz's mouth that I didn't know Fizz was capable of making.
Certain pitches in his voice.
But what a match between the two women. And Annabelle coming away with a victory as well, which means both Princess and Leia have now lost their individual open challenges, but Princess has a victory over Leia. Annabelle now has a victory over Princess. I feel like a score potentially needs to be settled there. I feel like we need some degree of rubber match. So whether that happens at our next show, whether that happens further down the line, I feel like that firstly, Princess and Leia need to finally prove with everything that they now know about each other and their time in the ring together, who is the better person. But you know what? With Annabelle now being able to stake a claim to being the top of that women's division, maybe TDW has its first ever women's triple threat.
It's a possibility.
And speaking of triple threats, where do we start with Rudy Root, the retro dude, very much at home at a show themed around retro nostalgia with Stand By Me.
Yeah.
Him in that triple threat against the absolute legend, lunatic, call him what you like, Robbo, Paul Robinson, making his TDW debut. And if you had never heard of Robbo before, firstly, can I get the address of the rock you've been living under? And secondly, he damn well showed you what you've been missing. But of course, the third man in that match, Basden's own Johnny Royal, fresh off of fighting for his career.
Proving why he's still there.
And yeah, again, I'll give a degree of credit where it's due. Johnny, you fought for your job, you kept your job, and we wanted to give you that opportunity to prove that it wasn't a fluke. Prove that regardless of what happened in that match and who we expected, and quite frankly would rather have seen one, that you were that competitor who deserved to stay in the promotion. And we wanted to give you that platform, wanted to give that opportunity to prove that you could hang. And you know what? You might not have got the job done in that triple threat match. You didn't take the fall. You very much hung with the very best in that ring. And you proved you belong. Well done. Fair. Well done. But you know what? Actually, now I'm on the subject, I want to backtrack a little bit. Talking about proving that you belong. Talking about that loser leaves TDW match at our previous show.
Go on.
Kev D. Cosplay Nightmare.
Well, you did say a loser.
Quite frankly, mate, I got bored of going backwards and forwards on Instagram, so I'm going to say this as close as I can right now to your face. Since Michael Parks, since we brought Parky back out to take that title off of Super Relic, after that main event, after he somehow got it done and beat Sir Ryan Matthews, somehow, once again made it all about him, and won that title, and again, then you're going to vacate it? No, you're going to be, and that was your line, Ryan, a fighting champion. Should be nowhere near that main event. But no, I'm going to keep defending this belt. I'm going to keep on fighting. I'm going to keep on making it all about me. That is the final opportunity that you had to redeem yourself and stop what was coming next, which was Parky. We'd invited him to the venue. He hadn't even signed his contract yet. He signed that contract on the stage. At the moment that we realised we had to use the nuclear option, that is when Parky signed his contract to reinstate him and to give him that title match. But Kev, you made a big point on the socials. After you won that Loser Leaves TDW tag match with your partner Johnny and all of your little cosplay friends. After Parky was fired, and obviously we brought Parky back, you made a big point to say that stipulations mean nothing, that he was fired, he should stay fired, and that, hey, if he's back, this should make you the number one contender. Now, if I want to talk about people who should be nowhere near a ring, I have a very strong memory.
Me too.
And you want to talk socials? Let's talk your socials, Kev. Let's talk about you, dressed up as Guile from Street Fighter, at a Comic-Con showing people footage of your match, showing people footage of you, costing someone else their job, securing yourself a position on the TDW roster, and the words that left your mouth when one of the guys you were showing that video to, the words that left your mouth when they asked, "Are you going to do this again? Are you going to wrestle again?" The words left your mouth were, "Nah, I'm done." So the way I see it, mate, you fought for a job that you didn't want. You took someone else's job that they did want. The way I see it, mate, if you're not going to wrestle anymore, there's a space on the roster. Why not fill it? Why not fill it with a man who, if anything, got pinned by a guy and his friends who doesn't even want to be on the roster?
Can't wait to see Kev's reaction to this.
So, okay, Johnny, yeah, you're back to Johnny. You proved you could hang. Fair play, mate. You at least are a full-time competitor and wanted that position and took the opportunity to have that opportunity to showcase why you belong. You took it. You did it. Well done, mate. Look at the rest of the card then. Let's carry on unpacking this show because I'm very much done dwelling on the part-timers.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I mean, should we go for the what was supposed to be Mordecai versus Kara?
Oh, yeah. Mordecai Shaw versus Sean Caro. Speaking of Sean's, Sean, Mordecai's representation, took the opportunity just before the show to say, "Do you know what? Mordecai has told me that you're not worth my time." Caro comes storming out, understandably annoyed, understandably pissed off, understandably out for blood. Sean, brave man, by the way. Mordecai's representation, sitting in the crowd, bought a ticket. Mordecai nowhere to be seen. So, who comes out to fill the void? Who answers Sean's call for vengeance? A man who, first time me seeing him in this guise, real change of personality since making his TDW debut in the Maverick Rumble, the formerly known as Kid Rock. Now Elijah Matthews had a crisis of faith, had a born again moment, whatever it is, the Metal Messiah. And I thought we were going to see a good old friendly contest. Instead, at the end of that match, Caro comes away with the win, and Elijah Matthews takes the opportunity at that point to wrap a guitar around Caro's head.
Yes, he did. I was backstage when he came through the curtain, and there was a pretty nasty injury there.
And I can't help but think that might have been, or there might have been, should I say, a reason why Sean, Mordecai's representation, was in the crowd when Mordecai himself apparently thought it was below him. Sean, we'll have a chat in our own time, mate, whether or not that was by design, that a man who seemingly has absolutely nothing against Caro decides to wrap a guitar around the man's head. I'm not saying that I disapprove.
No, I thought it was bloody good entertainment.
To quote a great man, controversy creates cash.
Yes, it does.
And hey, it would make me the biggest hypocrite in the world to disapprove of what Elijah did, and Sean, I'm guessing what you maybe had a hand in, based on our plans for later on in the night. So I'm not saying anything other than it'd be nice to know.
Yeah, you could have kept us in the loop at least.
And of course we had two whopping tag matches. One kicked off the show, Mr. Dexter and Big Country Ben McDonald against the young prodigy, Raymond O'Reilly, and his partner, having made his return in the Maverick Rumble, the Slam King, David Bavara. Or so we would have thought. David's music hits. No sign of the man. And Mr. Dexter, alluded to that something might have happened. Something that he maybe might have been a little bit involved in that meant that David wasn't there. And I thought we were about to see a handicap match at this point. But then, an unexpected addition to the TDW roster. And if that is the case, I can safely say welcome. I can safely say you are welcome to return, because Harry McDonald came to the aid of Raymond O'Reilly and put on an absolute showing in that match. And many times during that match had Big Ben, alongside Raymond, of course, Harry and Raymond having Big Ben and Mr. Dexter on the back foot. Bit of chicanery outside the ring. Harry getting ricocheted off the ring post meant that Raymond was all alone against the big countryman, and at that point, that was all she wrote. Dexter tagging in to get the pin and pick the bones of Raymond O'Reilly. There's our victory, and correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Dexter's first victory in the TDW books.
I believe so.
And our other tag match. RJ Singh and Old School Paul. Of course, RJ's usual tag partner, fellow Strong Dad Sunset Skip. This close to being medically cleared. Not medically cleared in time for the show. He was in RJ's corner. But Old School Paul, very happy to dive in as RJ's partner, especially because both of them having an axe to grind against the Kings of the Ring. Sullivan King and Richie eliminated both of those men, RJ and Old School Paul, from the Maverick Rumble. And both of them could argue that it wasn't the cleanest of eliminations. You know, Sullivan capitalised on Mordecai Shaw having distracted the entire field, and by sheer luck of the draw, Old School Paul happened to have been closest to the ropes. Over he goes with Sullivan King jumping in from behind there. RJ gets eliminated as a result of Richie sneaking down to the ring. Wasn't even supposed to be in the match. He wrestled in the tournament earlier on in the night at Danger Zone. And Richie sneaks down to the ring to trip RJ, help out his partner, allow Sullivan King to get the elimination off the distraction. Understandable, both Old School Paul and RJ Singh having a point to prove there. But the more established team got the job done in the end. Kings of the Ring proving why they're the top of the TDW tag division. And speaking of top of the tag division, thank you to our general manager, Max, for taking the opportunity to announce, not unveil, keep the suspense going a little bit, held them up in the bag, at the very least, a sign of what's to come. The TDW Tag Team Championships will be officially unveiled and won and crowned at our next show in October. And the four men in that ring very much proving that they each have a claim to it.
Yes, they do.
And finally, one of our big marquee matches, UK versus USA. James Fury over from the States, first time wrestling in the UK against one of the best in the UK, Captain Peng, the Peckham Playboy, Hakan. And those two left it all in the ring. Hakan constantly ducking and diving the disrespectful backhand that James Fury has very much patented. And it was back and forth quite a lot. I think this could have gone either way, but ultimately the backhand connected. Hakan went down. 1, 2, 3. And even Hakan's fellow stablemate in the corner was not enough to keep James Fury down. In fact, he dished out a few more backhands after the bell went. And
yeah,
what a showcase for the
videos
American.
of him. And I've seen him getting psyched up. He's another one I would not want to be in the ring with. Not that I want to be in the ring with anybody, but
What a showcase for the American. And again, what a card, what a show, and what a end to TDW's first year with Slam by Me. And of course, it all capped off with that main event. Well done, Ryan.
main event we've done so far.
Well done, Ryan. Relic. You got it done. You got it done. You got it done. You made it to the top of the world in a lot of ways.
Top of the food chain, wasn't he? For a whole 2 minutes.
I'd love to see that. Oh, again, I'd love to see the footage. I'd love to see how long it takes.
Do you know how satisfying it is knowing that he finally got that belt and we was able to take it away from him? We had an input on that.
And I wish it didn't have to come to it, mate. We gave you ample opportunity to prove us wrong.
It's just an addict to feeding his ego. And the thing is, Kurt, you can't help someone that won't help themselves.
Seemingly we can't.
No.
I mean, you left it all in the ring and it wasn't a lot to leave. You were, yeah, somehow able to put Ryan Matthews away. And even at the time that you did, I reckon if that match had gone for even a minute longer, you'd have been going to the hospital anyway with an oxygen tank. You were done. You were done, mate. You were done. As you call me into the ring, because again, it's not enough to win the title and, do your celebration and go home and send the crowd home if you must. You had to grab the mic and say, hey, just before you go, I've got a few words I'd like to say.
Literally, let me just talk some more and make it about me even more.
And even as you're calling me down to the ring, all I can see is you gasping for water, gasping for something to just keep yourself going. Honestly, it felt like the end of Old Yeller.
What a reference that is, Ric Flair.
Honestly, if I'd had enough time to say, I'm sorry, I love you.
I wouldn't have said it.
Yeah, I wouldn't have said it now. Felt wrong saying that just then. But you called us down to the ring, you do your little speech. And then, okay. We're doing this, are we? You said those words, I'm gonna be a fighting champion. And at that moment we realised we had our nuclear option out back. He was sat in his car. Right up until this point, there was a chance. There was a chance that Parky might have stayed fired.
Yeah.
I had a contract behind that desk that this man on the call with me here had already countersigned. And we were hoping we wouldn't have to use it.
You know what? I was hoping we did have to use it. Do you not think it's so gratifying to us to finally put him in his fucking place? I mean, physically and metaphorically.
So then, the moment you said the words, I'm going to be a fighting champion, the moment we realised that this is somehow still not over, you did it, mate. You wrestled in front of your son. You finally proved that you can win the big one. It's not over, is it? You're going to be a fighting champion. You're going to keep doing this to yourself. You're going to keep doing this to us again and again and again and again.
Yeah.
And as I go to put that belt around your waist, I'd like to thank the member of the crowd, by the way. I'd like to thank the member of the crowd who jokingly shouted out as I go to put the belt around Ryan's waist. I'd love to thank the member of the crowd who said, it's upside down, because thank you so much. Thank you so much for me to give me an excuse to take that belt off his waist again.
You know what? We should give them a job for the creative thinking like this.
It's upside down. Oh, is it? Oh, yeah. I'll have a look at it then, will I? As I'm stood behind him, this egotistical, narcissistic fossil.
Fossil.
That's what a relic is, isn't it? You're old. You shouldn't have been there. And you made it all about you. Again. And you couldn't resist. Again. And as I have the opportunity to take that belt off your waist and have a look, is it upside down? Is it? The thought was in my head originally. The thought had been in my head for a while. I know I'm not alone.
No, you know what? I am fucking jealous that you were the one that got to hit him.
I'm not going to lie, man.
Lucky bastard.
Felt good.
You know what? To be fair, it felt equally just as nice just sat next to him in the ring and he's laid out.
And you got to say the words that I was been thinking for a while. You got to say the words I've said quite a few times. After I'd laid him out, as I'm jumping out the ring to press the nuclear button, you get to sit there next to him and say those words that I've used a few times. And those words are, you just had to make it all about you.
I mean, I'm glad that you realise it because how long have I been saying this about him anyway?
Dude, you warned me when I first started the podcast.
Honestly, I just saw it from the moment I even joined Talk Through Dorks.
Yeah.
It was just,
And then, yeah, you know how the night plays out from there. If you've watched the socials, you know. We did what we had to do. We played Parky's music. He came out. He signed the contracts that we, you know, at one point in time, we hoped we hadn't had to use. He signed that contract then and there. And no, if I haven't done so already, I'll post that contract on the socials so you can read all the terms, just in case anyone thinks that there's any other dodginess that might have placed if he's not truly reinstated, if he wasn't truly fired.
No,
you can read that contract if you
back.
like. You can read that contract if you like. And Parky came out and did what Parky does best. And, man, Ryan, no matter what I've said today, we all know it's nothing personal. It was just business. See you later.